All right, y'all. Welcome back. We are at part 8, I think. Math is hard. We are working on our interiors and we're going to tackle the kitchen. I like kitchens and the pantry. I'm excited about this one because you can actually do some really cool things with pantry with a space game. So, I'm going to hit here, make it easy. We'll start with our kitchen. Make sure I'm filtered to base game. I am. All right. I I have counter issues, y'all. I do not like most of the base game counters because I don't like textured counter surfaces very much. I like solid ones. I'm probably the weirdo when it comes to this. But I do like the Tall Orchard Vintage one, so we're going to use that. I'm going to use that, obviously. I can be my weirdo self. I think it's because I look at them and go, if I had to cut, like, something on that counter, and yes, I know in theory there's cutting boards, I also have children. Those grooves in that tile would permanently be a mess. They just would all of the time. All right, I'm going to start my pantry with the counter bottom here with the cabinets in it. We need some paint in there, huh? I do still like this green color, so I'm actually going to stick with it. You know, when you go back like a week later and you still like a thing, you really actually like it then. But in my pantry, I might actually go just plain white inside the pantry, brighten it up a little bit in there. And I need to do the floor as well. I'm just going to stick with something simple. Yep, just keep that going right across there. All right, so trick with this to make your life easier. While you can see through this fine, the game still treats this like a wall, even though you put a doorway there. Sometimes this is super, super useful because you can do things like, let's see if you can tell here. See the shelf is floating on the front? You can come back here and put shelves that are sitting right behind the doorway but close up to it. This is how I build like the little corner cabinets and stuff. But for what we're doing right now, I don't want that. So we're going to delete the wall for a couple minutes. I'm going to go back and grab my shelves now. Get that nice dark wood color. It's fairly simple here. Alrighty. I like those. Something like this too. Actually, you know what? I might go ahead and swap to, I think I'm going to use this one actually. These have a bigger slot, like to put stuff on the shelves. That's why you see people use these in videos a lot of the times. Um, because they're deeper. It's really that simple. All right, I'm gonna line them up, pull them in just a little bit so I like that. And you could go, another set up. You could use whatever shelf brings you joy. Because these are actual counters, you can put appliances on these, but things right at the archway do not usually work. Usually you have to leave one space in between the arch and something behind it. Every so often some things do. I don't understand the physics of why that is. It just is. It is, however, a great place to put a coffee pot that you don't want them to actually, spend their entire day chugging down coffee. All right. And because we have the coffee pot, I'm going to go ahead and put some coffee beans. These are debug items. You see these in game when your sim goes to make coffee. So I'm going to put back here. I've got a couple of those. All right, and then I'm going to take some of these bottles and put them on the top shelf. The blue one, yeah, blue one does not slot. So this is going to be an exception to my not wanting to float stuff. But it looks so cool. Except those are floating too high. Oops. Let's do that again. It's really interesting because, like, visually, these look like they are. You are just not going to line up nicely there. Maybe I won't use them. Like, they look like they should just click into slots. Like, they're not very big, but they don't. Let's see if we go down one. Okay, there we go. Oop, excuse me there. If your camera goes flying off like mine just did, it's because you've used Control 9 at some point and set a camera pre-save. Super useful for making videos, not so useful when trying to build. So to clear it, you just press Alt 9. You only have to press it once. You don't have to hold it down every time. There's some spice bottles in the pantry. This one, I think this is this, yeah. This one also does not clip. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of put these, I'm putting them on this outer edge so that at least still when I'm playing, that won't really be in my line of sight. There's a bottle of macaroni. I didn't actually know that. And sometimes when you're building, you find new things. I think I'm actually going to make that larger. Kind of like that. We've got some sprinkle bottles. I like these too. I'll show you guys a trick here in a minute with these clutter items. Let's go down to decorations. And put some cleaning supplies in our pantry. Oh, lipstick. That's a funky looking lipstick. There's glue, lighter fluid. You know, sure. Well then. Actually, no. This is what I wanted. I'm going to use a bottle of Windex as well. Maybe we'll have our old camera, wow, candle stash there as well. I mean, you could put the baby stuff, you could put whatever you want in here. I'm gonna put a stack of these. The cookbooks, like the red ones, like the Betty Crocker, right? Alright, I'm going to show you the other stuff that actually works really, really well. Fruits and vegetables. So they look like little, I don't know if you guys can see that when I'm putting it out, it looks like a little seed, but it actually turns into the fruit. They don't spoil. They don't go bad. So you can you can make your own fruit baskets, your own pantry shelving kind of containers, and put stuff in there. You can also scale them. I don't know if you see here, I'm scaling them up once. Um, and you don't have to worry about the Sims going bad. They don't freak out over them. They don't, run around and panic over, oh, it's, there's something rotting. They don't try to throw it away. It's fantastic. And I am sizing these all up one though. So I had the big old ones. All right, let's see. That looks looking pretty good. You can actually build an entire refrigerator this way. I have done that a couple times and it looks really good. Because the refrigerators, you can shrink them down as tiny as they'll go, and as long as the sim can still reach the handle, that is the only part that matters, it's still functional. So a lot of times I'll flip like a counter around backwards, like what we did in the on our little entryway over here, and put it to where the fridge handle just sticks out, so it looks like the drawer pull basically on the cabinet, and that works. Okay, so let me show you a trick here, because I am anti stuff floating. We're gonna grab just some of these other shelves. I don't really care which one for right now, because what I want to do is look at the slots. Okay, so I can, so I am just lining these up. Now, what you can do, shrink the shelf, right? Not the fruits and vegetables, but the shelf. Then when you slide it over here, put it to where that shelf looks like it's sitting on that surface. And check that out. Now we filled that up without adding more clutter, and also things now aren't going to float in midair. I mean, they are right now because I just placed them, but when you're playing, they won't actually be floating. And for me, that's a big deal. Um, and you can just try the different shelves because they will be slotted slightly different. You can kind of play with where things sit at. Um, that's really the tricky part of this is figuring out, okay, is it gonna sit, directly behind? Is it gonna be spaced equally? Is it gonna overlap the stuff that I did put there already? Um, Kind of just play with it and see what you like there. But it's one way to fill up a whole lot of the shelf space here. I'm actually gonna take this out of here. I like how this is looking, I think. Actually having put that there. I'm gonna actually go put it behind my sprinkles down here. And then I'm gonna actually take these, I think. Let's put them on a different shelf here. Our spice bottles. Oops. I missed. I'm gonna do the same thing. Shrink the shelf. And I'm gonna come drop those right in here. See, we ran out of space on that one. I think I might just leave it off. And then you've got some things on the counter. We can put some more stuff up there. Um, you can actually do the same thing with counter space as well. This is a fantastic way to keep your counters functional and have your clutter as well. Same thing. Shrink it down. Drop it down here. As far as the game is concerned, gameplay-wise, there's nothing on that counter. And so it won't affect the Sims using it at all. And now there you go. You can actually see none of those things are floating up in the air other than the, bottles that won't slot. So for me, gameplay-wise, that's a big deal. I far, far, far prefer things like that. I'm gonna go ahead and put my veggies up here. There we go. Put your greens. I like our little pantry. You can keep adding stuff like that. You can go through any of the plants and stuff work. Any of these that are called seeds will work like that. You can actually even do things where take a planter and shrink it down like a bowl. Take these. Go ahead and size them up a little bit. So one of them's going to want to stack in the counter. One of them is going to want to snap to the planter. That's fine. Yeah, sometimes you just got to wait a minute until you... There you go. Once they are done trying to clip, you can actually fill... You know what? Why don't we go... Oops. I'm going to pause. I think actually, let's do it. Let's go ahead. Raise that up here on the counter. Okay. It's going to want to snap in there. That's fine. Once it's done snapping... Oh, now it's trying to snap to the counter. Let's move that out of the way. There we go. I don't know if I want my bowl to be tomatoes, though. Is that silly? I'm sitting here going, those would actually get squished. So, obviously, you can use whatever fruits and vegetables you want. I just do carrots. Yeah. I don't know, bowl of carrots, is that too silly? I think maybe a bowl of carrots would be silly. And pomegranates, grow fruit. And yes, you could totally do cowplant berries. It's funny. I'm gonna do apples. Yeah, okay. So, same thing. One's gonna want to snap, or two. There we go. All right. Now, I'm just gonna raise these others up and drop them here. Kind of a stop, pause, make sure they're sitting at the right height. And there you go. Now you can take this top one off now. um, if you want to. Now that's the one that was snapping to where it wanted to put the seed. Um, Once you're done with that, you can just go like, all right, I don't need that one there anymore. I can just take it off. It's fine. You can make a small one, put it there, whatever you want to do. All right, put our counter back, and looks like we have a bowl of apples. And you can absolutely play more with this too. You can make a mixed bowl of fruit. You can do all kinds of fun stuff with it. This is the kind of thing that I can spend more hours than I would like to admit to sitting there arranging fruit in bowls. For sake of everyone's sanity, I'm not going to do that right now. All right, let's remember to paint the walls. Anytime you draw walls back, remember the other side of the wall is now unpainted. And the game, your Sims and the game will get cranky about it. All right, put that down to base game. Grab an archway again. I like the ones that have... I like these that have a little bit nicer corner on them. That's the prairie style ones. And there we go. Check out our pantry. All right, now let's go back to kitchen proper. Now obviously we're going to need to leave space too for that to look right and not run the counters right up to it. So I think what I'm going to do, let me go to this one. I wonder if the end on this one looks different. Yeah, it's got a single door. I'm going to stop that here. Oh, we're done with that guy. And let me think a second. Where do we want to put... So we have a nice big kitchen here. So because we have the separate dining area over here, we actually have huge, huge kitchen space. And I have not yet decided where I want to put the fridge and the other one. So I'm going to drop counters in first. Slide that down a little bit there. I can actually go ahead and use... put another little workstation. This kind of thing gets really fun, especially if you do have some of like the cool kitchen or some of the other kits that have extra kitchen appliances. All right, Sims. Okay, y'all. This is gonna drive me. Wait, hold on. I know what I might have done. Okay, that was why. That I had used this outer corner piece. Actually, I kind of like it though. So I'm gonna do the same thing over here instead of the end piece. That's why it doesn't have that backsplash bit coming all the way across. All right, I like that. Huge kitchen. Look at all that space. So much room for activities. Let's give them... Should we go ahead and give them a good microwave? I think I don't use these all the time because the colors are funky. It's not bad. I think I like this one better though. So we have a microwave. We can have our dishwasher over here. I think what I might do... So we're going to need somewhere to put our refrigerator. Note on these things while I'm looking at them. These that have the exclamation point are the ones that generally will go bad, and these are the ones your sim is going to gripe about. So even though there are like these saucepans and stuff, these are the ones that'll show up as green and smoky, and your sim will be complaining about the area. So you can't actually use them for decor. Sadness. I know, like that. I think it does not need to be that close. What if we take it and put it over here, though? Maybe move this here. Kind of liking how that looks. And we definitely need a stove. I think I would want to put stove here. Should we go that way? Nah, that's a little too far. So at least add the brown accent to them. I'm not going to do that yet. I'll show you a trick in a second. We're going to do the thing that I always forget and put our smoke alarm. Yay! Now, trick. If you don't like it, put it right behind the stove. Still works. And while I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and put our... Let's find somewhere to tuck this guy. There we go. Slide that down just a little bit. Just make sure there's space. Fire extinguishers. Good thing. Okay, let's grab cabinets down to our dark wood color here. So this one has this really beautiful china cabinet, china hutch looking cabinet. So I do actually want to use this one. The other advantage being that these will drop during gameplay, so even though they're tall, they will not block sight lines. So I think I'm going to take this off. You know what, I might actually move the dishwasher over. Move these down a little bit. And tuck that in right there. Okay, so I always kind of make a point of coming and looking at what they have in the different ones, because like these corner outside pieces you can actually use at the ends as well. They don't have to literally be only where you're turning backwards. Got our short, got our regular, we've got our inner cabinet. Personal pet peeve, these always stay visible. I don't use them because they always stay visible and it makes me cranky. So, you know, just FYI. I want to put, I'm going to start here. I also pull these in so that they're not clipping because that's another just aggravates me thing. Dun, 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 dun. Put that one there, I think. And so see, those are too wide, but which way? I want you to flip the other way. Beep. Why are you being a pain? You should flip while you're right here. Let's move. See if it's just being cranky because of the other stuff here. Should be able to rotate space. Rotate. Alright, let's try this. And if you mod, you can do this with tool. There we go. Yeah, so you can probably tell what I just did there. I deleted the wall because it's meant to turn the corner. That's basically what it was getting stuck on, is it couldn't actually turn. So I just deleted it and gave it a corner to turn. But now that it's there, I can just redraw that wall and it doesn't undo itself. So if you're struggling with the placement, a lot of times that might actually resolve things right there for you. I'm going to put this back here. Okay, I like that. I pull this one up, line it up nicely. I pull it in because the clipping in there just bugs me. So, all right, gonna go back and grab our hood, range hood. Let's see. I'm gonna use that copper color and tuck it under the short cabinet. Okay, I think these I'm gonna actually pull over a bit now. I tend to worry, or not worry, but care more about windows from the inside because I see them more that way than I do, especially little placements like that. Once I finish a build, I'm probably not going back and looking at it going, oh no, my counters are not even. This is a tragedy. I am far more likely to be inside actually, playing. All right, I want to see if we can get an island fitting nicely in here as well too, because this is just so big of a kitchen space. Let's see. So that's enough to walk around. If I do this, I might swap that for a narrower doorway though. Overlapping there. I think that looks pretty good. I'm 99% sure this is enough space for them to path, but you could also just pull it in, swap one of these, um, if you're anxious about it or if it is not. Alright, I'm going to swap to a narrower archway now. So that I can have my island still. Huge kitchen. Look at that. So much room for activities. Let's grab some bar stools. You can use whatever bar stool brings you joy here. Okay, show you a thing. So because these are overlapping, the bar stools are doing this funny thing. If this bothers you, take whichever one you want, grab another island piece. It doesn't even have to be the same one. Doesn't matter. Put your bar stool at it. Shrink the island piece, and you can slide it so that it's equally spaced. Okay. It does have to be the island. Counters do not shrink, and the other big thing is the automatic counters button that's, okay, it's clipped off on my screen, but that's on the bottom right under the bar stools, has to be turned off. That, by the way, is what lets you select the different pieces so you can actually shape your kitchen how you want. Okay, I like this actually. We have so much functional counter space. This is crazy. Oh, look, we're gonna actually, for real this time, remember the trash can. Y'all, this is a miracle. I am awful about this. If you ever get one of my builds, double check that there's a trash can. There probably is not. Because I totally, this time, forgot to put the outside one. I'll just put one right in here. One of the things that can be a lot of fun is snagging some of the different colored ones and building actually like a little recycling area. You have like 3 different color ones. Or if you're, live in Germany, you can have like 5 different color ones like I do. Because Germany. All right, let's add, we've got our appliances, so we have our dishwasher, we have our, sink. Sink would be good, right? Let's put I like this one. Above the dishwasher? I think right beside the dishwasher. That makes more sense in my head. Actually, y'all are gonna laugh. This makes more sense in my head. Don't know why, it just does. Yeah. All right. So the little pictures are actually a really good way for double checking that you haven't accidentally skipped something in a build. If I can look at that and go, okay, I see, all of the pieces I meant to have. Experience here, y'all. So I see that maybe those look too big here, I think. Blinds? Ooh, I like that. So this is just shrinking those down twice so that they fit on the smaller window. I think it's got a nice little finished look right there. And then I think we've got our trash can, we have our fire alarms, we have our sink, our stove, a microwave, a hidden coffee pot, because no, and a refrigerator. All right, let's decorate it. What do we want in our kitchen? I've been a little obsessed with this pot. I don't really know why. It just has caught my eye. Windowsill. Little basket of flowers on the windowsill. Or on the outside windowsill. Whoa, too much. Can I see those through the window now? Get a little bit of pop of color there. We could probably put those here in the center. That back part was. I like that. Alright, let's go down to decorations. Clutter. Alright. We need our utensils. Do I want that one? No. Let's use this one. That looks like it belongs in this kitchen. We need our knife block over in our prep area. Maybe over here. Spice rack. I like the other one better. Here's me trying to remember if the other one is base game or not. Salt and pepper shakers. This is the square one is not base game? Okay. Snag that one. I'm just kind of pulling stuff out right now. And this is, I haven't even gotten to using debug items. This is just, you know, base game. We need our soap by our counter. Yeah, paper towels. No, I don't like that one better. You know, your half chewed off fruitcake, if you want it. Fruit bowls. Some of these things are really fun too. The milk jugs and things like that you can put in the pantry as well, or you can layer into different spots. Little desserts. Oh, I totally didn't think to put this. We could have put this on the counter in here too. Our coffee cups. It's okay. Wine rack. I'm gonna put that one. It's not right there. Okay. That feels like. If you like the crafted knife block better, you could totally use the crafted one instead. Of course. I like it. All right, we're gonna do the shelf trick, okay? Go to our surfaces, designs, snag whatever shelf you want. Most of these are small slots, so I think they will fit on. Nope, not fit on that guy. So you can actually use this one. If you this actually reason right here is why I tend to recommend the sleek bathroom kit so much, because it has a single shelf that is slotted for these large things. And then well, these are countertops too. You can also just do a trick here. Placement, lighting. Go to floor lamps. The kids' floor lamp has this nice little pole. So for example, I want the soap to sit here on the corner of the sink. I want the salt and pepper to sit, say, here with maybe the spice rack right here. And I want the knife block to be right here. Okay? So I'm going to pull these out. I'm going to take my soap, drag it off the counter, line it up right on that pole. Put that back, and my soap is precisely where I want it. Same thing here. I'm going to grab our salt and pepper shaker and grab my spice rack. Slide those counters back, and they are exactly where I wanted them to be. My knife block. Knife block. Oop, it's trying to snap to that counter right there. Let's get that out of the way. That, and then this one I know I just wanted right by the stove. This will save you a lot of, put it there, wait, not exactly right there. All right, move it back out. So as far as Sims are concerned, these counters are all bare. They're completely functional. There's nothing blocking them using the counters. If you get a little crazy with this, it means that they will literally try to use the counter visually it will look like they are working right in your clutter. If you put a bunch of clutter down, you can do that. It doesn't stop its functionality at all. It just visually will look funny, but it also lets us, gets this full on cluttered look that I like. So I want to put, I like these colorful ones. I like this guy, even though it is completely not slotted for some reason. Turn it around. There we go. I'm going to tuck it right there in the corner. Another one beside it? No. Over here? Could be pretty, sitting behind the paper towel edge. A little more colors here and there. You just kind of work your way around with, add some decor. So this one, I don't know if you can see if this is snapping here. It's trying to snap to where that shelf is at. It's easier rather than fight it to just like let one snap and then delete it. I think that actually is going to have to go around this side there. Can put these here. That one was floated. That one's floating already. Hmm. I kind of want to do something a little different here now. Looking at these, I think what I would like is kind of want to put both of these over here. I think I'm going to put them like they're side by side. A little bit of a spacing. There we go. All right. I'm going to go down, light it, grab that lamp again. I want the bowl of fruit to be right here, and I want the cake to be right there. So move this out of the way. See if that's far enough that we can do this without a clipping. Okay. Move this out of the way. And set my cake. Straighten it back out. And this one we had overlapping a little bit. So I'm going to put that back where it was. Delete the lamp. That's kind of looking pretty good. Alright, over here I had put the wine bottles. I'm going to do the shelf floating trick right here. I don't think those snap to a short one if I remember right. Fairly certain it'll have to be that one. Yeah. Alright. Right here, shrink it, and drop it on top of the fridge. There we go. That is feeling very nice. Let's add some wall decor. The fact that those have such weird shadows like bugs the bejesus out of me. Oh, what do we have? Oh, that's the 3 keys. I always think these are fun. Does this one not? Of course, the sunshine one does not match. It's fine. Oh, actually, I really almost forgot about these. I really like these for kind of farm builds. Just the crate lids. They have a nice kind of friendly feel to them that I really enjoy. No. You can always use your hanging pans. You could put them, under the stove or under the counter over here if you wanted. You've also got your hanging knives too, if you prefer, you know, you can put those up somewhere if you prefer to have that instead of the knife block. Or, you know, completely skip it. It's fine. You can do that. Okay, I like that, but it definitely has to have the corkboard or something under it. Hmm. Let's go look at our arts and see something over here. Do something with a fruit ones there, maybe? Maybe swap and do. There we go. Kind of like that. The set feel to it. We need our towel. Alright, show you another trick. Going to grab a hand towel from the kitchen. Alright, I don't want it to click to the wall. I want it to look like it is out in front of the cabinet, but it's you know, it's trying everything in its power to snap to the wall. Bye wall. Why the sink went with the wall, I don't know. It's fine. We'll put it back. But once the wall is gone, now I can take it and add a little hanging towel hook right under the edge of my counter. Rebuild my wall. When you do the, instead of drawing it and you use the either rebuild it like that with a full wall option or drag it over, it'll automatically do the matching paint, so you don't have to redo that. Go back to the sinks, grab my sink again, put that back. I had clutter over there too. It got rid of all my stuff. How mean. Very inconsiderate. That would be Sims physics for you. Sometimes the physics is questionable. Let's go grab, what did I have? I had the spice rack and the salt and pepper, I think, right? Spice rack. And the salt and pepper. All right. I like our little kitchen. That's pretty happy. That's pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with that. All right. So I did it again. 43 minutes. Oh my goodness, y'all. I swear I'm capable of doing a room faster. Maybe. Maybe not. Yeah. Next time we will tackle the, probably I'm going to do the dining room next, I think, and then we might move into this little hall area. Have fun.